mirrors. It is often thought that they are portals to another world, and others believe that they reflect our inner demons, like these two. Dark Mennonite, the shady swordsman, and Dark Pit, the black-winged doppelganger. I'm Mick Jesus, and I will go over their origin and powers to determine who would win in this episode of The Debate Club. The world of Dreamland is host to many mystical oddities, from companies wanting to roboticize entire planets to cookie cults wanting to resurrect ancient deities. But none are shrouded more in mystery than that of the mirror world. I mean, there's the parallel worlds, but that's a bag of worms that I'm not even going to bother explaining. So I won't. Deal with it. Buy the game. The mirror world is a reflection of Dreamland in every way possible, which just means it's an exact copy of Dreamland. Honestly, I really don't know why I just hyped it up saying it's a mystery and everything. Whatever. Anyways, one day something sinister took over the mirror world and used its powers to create evil reflections of whatever or whoever looks into it. Knowing the dangers of this, the hero Mennonite went to stop this sinister evildoer. But in doing so, he accidentally created a being who will become his equal. Dark Mennonite. Dark Mennonite is Mennonite's copy in every way. He is a master with a blade and can perform moves like the Mock Tornado, Drill Rush, shoot energy shots from his sword, or even summon huge tornadoes from just swinging his sword. It's fascinating that such a mirror exists in the world, so to see its power for myself, I decided to borrow the mirror to test it out. Hey Manny!
Yo!
Can you take a look at this mirror for me?
Sure.
Alright, what do you see?
A failure.
Besides that.
Yo mama!
Manny!
I don't see anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, I guess it doesn't work in this world.
Can I go home now?
Sure. In addition, Dark Mennonite can use mirror abilities, adding to his arsenal. He can form a barrier to shield himself or hide inside it. Both of these abilities can also reflect projectiles. He can also summon large swords from multiple mirror shards. His sword is also susceptible to elemental changes such as fire, water, ice, electric, and wind, changing his attack styles. He also has the ability to split living things into 4 equal beings. I don't know why he would want to split the most dangerous being in the universe into 4 different equally powered Kirbys, but hey, it could be chopped up to his proud warrior nature. I mean, he does mirror how Mennonite acts. Huh? See what I did there? Speaking of which, let's talk about that. Being a copy of Mennonite, it wouldn't be false to scale Dark Mennonite to his like counterpart, since, they're copies of each other, and the fact that Dark Mennonite actually defeated Mennonite in a one-on-one fight. After the events of Mazing Mirror, Mennonite went on an adventure to fight the greatest warrior in the galaxy. And he won that, and then casually just flew through space back home like nothing happened. In that game, we see Mennonite flying from stage to stage instead of using a warp star and traveling around the same speed. This means that Mennonite's flight speed must be comparable to that of the warp star. I mean, we do see him casually flying back from space, so it wouldn't be a stretch to compare the two. Now, there's not a concrete way to determine the warp star's top speed, so I'm comparing it to a shooting star. Both travel quickly through the air, both leave a trail behind when traveling, and they both like to crash land. A shooting star's top speed clocks in around 160,000 miles per hour. Now, McDeezus, this is a stronger Mennonite. How could Dark Mennonite compare to at this point? My rebuttal to that, who says Dark Mennonite didn't evolve since his defeat in the Amazing Mirror? We see him return to fight on par with King Dedede, and while he did lose, it is good to point out that he can contend with up to 4 different Kirbys at once. He even defeated Morphonite, who's like Galactonite, but like a butterfly. So like, it's more powerful. Trust me, guys. Trust me. He always returns, always challenging the heroes of Dreamland, until he just decided to join Kirby in his adventures and will. Many years ago, in the land of Skyworld, war raged between the light and the dark. The goddess of light Palutena enlisted the aid of the young warrior named Pit to take down Medusa and her army. After losing to the forces of light, Medusa went into hiding for 24 years, slowly gaining allies, one of which was Pandora and her Mirror of Truth. How it works is that it creates copies of whatever or whoever looks into it. Sounds familiar? With this, Pandora began creating an army for the underworld. That is, until the hero from 24 years ago came back to Pandora's lair and destroyed the mirror for good. But in this moment, the mirror activated and Dark Pit was born.
What the? Hey.
Let's get right to introductions. This here is Dark Pit.
Being the reflection of Pit, Dark Pit is his equal in every way. So similar, in fact, that Dark Pit even thinks himself as the original.
You're a copy of me! Come on now, think about it. If I was a copy, why would I kick my own butt?
He wields the Silver Bow, a long-range bow that shoots arrows of darkness that never end and can be guided. But if he wants to get close and personal, the bow can snap into 2 swords. In addition, he carries the Electroshock arm, which is a big bulky arm that does exactly what the name implies. And if he feels like getting some distance, he can take aim with his staff that shoots a powerful laser, and when it hits, it goes boom, and there's no more anything.
Goodbye!
Also, he never seems to run out of ammo for these things. How convenient! After his creation, you would think that Dark Pit would totally be on the side of evil since, he was made in the underworld. Well, things are more complicated than that. You see, when Dark Pit was born, the Mirror of Truth shattered during its process, so he kinda came out defective.
The Mirror of Truth created Dark Pit, so his allegiance should be to the underworld army.
I wonder if the mirror cracked before the copy was complete.
So that explains it.
So he's not completely evil. He even wants to defeat Medusa, just like Pit. But Medusa was real happy to hear about that. As soon as he was born, he turned on Pandora, beat her, and took her powers for himself. Thanks to it, Dark Pit can fly indefinitely. Until he couldn't. And it was fun while it lasted. But even without unlimited flight, Pitu has done some pretty crazy things. Like falling so fast he caught fire and survived. The heat from re-entry is around 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. If we compare him to Pit, which he is a one-on-one copy of, we see Pit dodging point-blank laser fire. If we take this at face value, that means that both Pits can react at light speed attacks. Which makes sense since we see Dark Pit traveling the underworld, dodging obstacles and fighting underworld monsters. He's even defeated a much more powerful Pandora single-handedly, which is why he lost his ability to fly. But don't worry, for his good boy points, Palutena gave Dark Pit the ability to fly, but only for 5 minutes. If he exceeds that time, his wings catch fire. Dark Pit eventually grew out of his emo phase and even became an enforcer to the forces of nature. Maybe the good side of Pit's finally resonating in Opa 2. Not that he'll admit it though. Wait a minute. Since Dark Pit is the exact clone of Pit, and Pit can't read, does that mean that Dark Pit can't read either? An illiterate edgelord? Huh. Must be a...
Let's do this!
Alright, we went through both combatants, and now it is time to put the debate to rest.
What kind of city is this? The Mirror of Truth. Sounds like a very satisfying existence.
Know my power! Behold! Come back when you can put up a fight.
Nice try.
You've much yet to learn.
Game on!
Fight me! Ha!
Electroshock!
I just don't like the idea of someone copying my act.
Can't help but feel sorry for you.
Behold. Know my power. Victory is my destiny.
Goodbye! Nice try. Looks like I'm the last man standing.
Headshot. Or would it be a body shot, since, you know, he's a circle and all? Huh. Anyways, this fight was a close one to be sure. Both are quick, but Dark Pit's light speed reaction allows him to avoid most of whatever Dark Mennonite throws at him. While Dark Mennonite's mirror abilities would mean that anything Dark Pit shoots at him would be bounced back, Dark Pit's fast enough to react. I mean, we see him go through literal hell fighting hordes of monsters on his own, while Dark Mennonite lost to a 4 Kirby ambush. Also, while using his mirror abilities, Dark Mennonite can't attack. He can only move around and reflect, meaning he's still open to physical attacks. Also, while Dark Mennonite excels in one-on-one fights, Dark Pit excels in both one-on-one and group battles, as we see him dueling Pit and Pandora, while on other times we see him fighting hordes of enemies, something we don't see Dark Mennonite doing. There is star allies, but more often than not, he has allies to help him. It's in the name after all. Buy the game. Dark Mennonite's elemental swords, while it would keep Dark Pit on his toes, it requires external forces to activate it, meaning it's more situational than reliable. In terms of durability, Dark Pit takes the cake, also. Since him and Pit are the same, we can compare it to the time Pit fell thousands of feet in the air and got back up like it was nothing. But McDeezus! Mennonite was sucked into a pseudo-black hole and survived. Wouldn't this mean that Dark Mennonite would be capable of the same? Well, this is more of a vortex, and the real damage is what happens inside, that being blasted by thunderstrikes. While he would sustain burns from the electricity, I would rather take that than hit the ground at 8 tons of force after getting sandwiched by a god. The same god that can cut through huge pillars with ease. What about Morphonite? He's a stronger Galactonite, right? Well, yes and no. While it is debatable whether or not Morphonite is stronger than Galactonite, Morphonite was made by consuming Galactonite, meaning they're more or less the same. We don't even see Morphonite doing the same as Galactonite in terms of attacks like ripping holes in reality. In turn, Dark Pit defeated a monster that eats souls and a powered up version of Pandora. More impressive than beating someone with the title Greatest Warrior in the Galaxy. In the end, Dark Pit was just too quick to catch and too tough for the shady swordsman to handle, leaving Dark Mennonite with a pit of shame. I have no shame. The winner is Dark Pit. Alright, who's next?